In Hemu Village, Hanas Village, and Baihaba Village, there are more than 2,000 Tuwa people living together. For generations, they have made a living by grazing and hunting. They live in deep mountains and forests, are brave and strong, ride horses and ski, drink and sing, believe in Tibetan Buddhism and Tibetan evangelism, and maintain their unique living habits and language. The Tuwa people have preserved the primitive and ancient form of music. Humai is an art of voice, in which singers use the vibrations of their throat to produce two different scales of sound, creating a resonance between low and high notes, which has a unique impact on people's sound perception. In recent years, with the completion and operation of Hemu Village Snow Resort, Winter Hemu has also been highly favored by tourists, becoming a year-round, all-round tourist destination with no dead corners. Jikepulan Ski Resort is about 8 kilometers away from Hemu Village, and the snow on both sides of the road is over 1 meter thick, which takes more than 20 minutes to reach. Arriving at the highest point of the ski resort, Yunshao Peak at an altitude of 2,749 meters, there is a tall wooden marker stand standing at the peak with pointed tips extending in 4 directions. Jikepulan Ski Resort is a border area adjacent to the borders of 3 countries. The ski resort is located not far from the east side of Yunshao Peak, with an Asamali Peak at an altitude of 2,848 meters. The planned hiking and skiing area for the ski resort is the highest point of the resort. The maximum drop of the ski resort is 1,466 meters. With such a large drop, it is possible to reach the secondary peak of the ski resort directly through 2 cable cars. The Tuwa ski resort is over 11 kilometers long, and if you practice while skiing, it will take about half an hour to reach the cable car station at the foot of the mountain. In addition, there are dozens of high and medium-level snow trails, countless wild snow trails, and white slopes for you to gallop on. Especially the traceless powder snow after snowfall, known as the ceiling of Chinese ski resorts, is not an exaggeration. In the distant border of Xinjiang, there is a place regarded as a divine sanctuary, and that is Hemu Village in Xinjiang. It is like a brilliant pearl hidden outside the city, quietly nestled by the Kanas Lake in Burqin County, Xinjiang. Hemu Village, the concentrated residence of Tuwa people, carries the vicissitudes of time and the inheritance of the nation, with hundreds of households thriving here. They make a living by nomadic lifestyle, living in harmony with nature by chasing after water and grass. Their life is simple and pure, as if time has slowed down here, leaving behind the reverence for nature and the adherence to tradition. Entering Hemu Village, the first thing that catches the eye is the houses built with logs, which have not undergone much carving and decoration, preserving the most primitive texture. They are arranged haphazardly on the hillside or standing quietly by the river, blending in with the surrounding mountains, rivers, and forests. Every house seems to be telling an ancient story. The rough wood grain is the imprint of time, and the faint pine resin emitted is a gift from nature. This primitive architectural style fills the entire village with a rustic flavor. There are no fancy decorations, no modern building materials, only the purest and most authentic natural beauty. In this fast-paced modern society, Hemu is like an independent old man, silently guarding the initial tranquility and mystery. Walking in Hemu's alleys, the soft dirt road underfoot, the blooming wildflowers and swaying grass along the road, the sunlight shining through the gaps of the leaves, forming mottled light and shadow. The gentle breeze brings waves of floral fragrance and the scent of vegetation, making people feel as if they have entered a fairy tale world. Here, time seems to no longer be important, everything becomes so slow and beautiful, and the distant mountains rise and fall, majestic and spectacular. The mountaintop is covered with white snow, shining brightly under the sunshine. The lush forest on the hillside seems to have draped a green cloak over the mountain. As the seasons change, the color of the forest also changes from tender green to deep green, and then to golden and fiery red, like a colorful painting. At the foot of the mountain, there is an endless grassland, where herds of cattle and sheep leisurely graze, and horses gallop on the grassland. The sound of their hooves echoes through the sky, as if showcasing their freedom to the world. In Hemu, you can still feel the enthusiasm and simplicity of the Tuwa people. Their smiles are as warm as sunshine, and their eyes reveal kindness and sincerity. When you walk into their home, they will warmly welcome you, serving you delicious milk tea and specialty cuisine. They will tell you about the history and culture of the Tuva people, allowing you to have a deeper understanding of the heritage of this land. The beauty of this blessed land lies not only in its natural scenery, but also in the tranquility and mystery it contains. It is the habitat of people's souls and the harbor where tired souls can find comfort. Here, we can let go of the hustle and bustle of the world, return to our most authentic selves, feel the gifts of nature, and listen to the voice of our hearts. Walking into Hemu Village, Burqin County, Altai Prefecture, northern Xinjiang, the distant mountains are as lush as jade, and the nearby water is filled with smoke. This place is known as the last pure land of mankind, God's backyard, God's private land, and is also the farthest and largest village among the 3 remaining Tuwa villages. It integrates natural landscapes, folk culture, and historical inheritance, and is a model of harmonious coexistence between humans and nature, becoming a paradise in the hearts of many tourists. Hemu Village in Altai is located at the southern foot of Altai Mount Taishan Mountain, with an altitude of 1,200 to 2,000 meters. It belongs to high mountains and hills. The northern Xinjiang where it is located has a temperate continental arid and semi-arid climate. The precipitation is larger than that in southern Xinjiang, and the 4 seasons are distinct. The relatively abundant precipitation in the region has created a relatively rich resource environment. The mountainous grassland belt includes meadows and mixed grassland, while the mountainous forest belt mainly consists of tall trees such as coniferous pine, birch, and poplar, with high forest coverage and high-quality timber resources. Surrounded by beautiful Kanas Lake and Hemu River, the area is rich in water resources. Hemu Village is a small village inhabited by both Kazakhs and Tuvans. Both the Kazakh and Tuwa people maintain a relatively traditional way of life. They are good at riding, shooting, skiing, love nature, and revere natural objects such as mountains, rivers, and streams. Their ecological outlook is a precious spiritual wealth accumulated over generations. The Kazakh people are known for their hospitality, singing and dancing skills, while the Tuwa people have a unique language and ethnic cultural tradition. In the village, the wide main road and Hemu River become the main layout of wooden houses and residential buildings. Residential buildings are built along the road and river or on one or both sides, surrounded by wooden fences and arranged evenly. The construction units correspond clearly to the family living units, and the spatial form intuitively reflects the villagers' way of life. After the rise of tourism in Hemu Village, commercial streets, tea houses, inns, convenience stores and other tourism service facilities were concentrated along the main roads. These facilities, together with the roadside open spaces, constitute the areas where public activities are more concentrated in the homogeneous village. The most prominent feature of Hemu Village is the wooden houses and residential buildings, which are all built with local wood and have a simple and natural shape. The rectangular buildings are covered with steep sloping roofs, reflecting the basic unit spatial style of population settlement in the village. These residential buildings face southwest and form strip-shaped construction units with courtyards enclosed by wooden fences in front and behind, perpendicular to the village skeleton road, reflecting the corresponding growth relationship between roads and residential buildings and the consensus on the layout of residential buildings. The abundant forest resources and high-quality wood in the surrounding area provide building materials for wooden houses, and thus form corresponding construction and processing technologies and construction methods that adapt to environmental conditions. Wooden houses and residential buildings use logs and wooden strips as building materials, and through layered processing of logs, they build well-dry wooden houses that serve as both support and enclosure structures. The gaps between the red pine logs on the walls are filled with plateau moss known locally as nuke, which utilizes the expansion property of moss when it comes into contact with water to improve the airtightness of the building and resist the severe cold of winter in the mountainous areas of northern Xinjiang. Corresponding to the wood processing construction method, the architectural space and shape of wooden houses are presented as regular single-layer rectangular cubes. The towering herringbone-pointed roof on top of them is designed to adapt to the heavy snowfall in the mountainous areas of northern Xinjiang and avoid the collapse of the roof due to snow load. The roof truss is constructed by interlocking logs and anchored to the log walls. Purlins are installed on the triangular roof truss, and wooden planks are laid on top to form a steep roof that is easy for snow to slide off. The spatial organization and wooden house construction in Hemu Village, Xinjiang, showcase a beautiful scene of harmonious coexistence between humans and nature with its unique charm and wisdom. Up to now, Hemu Village has not only preserved the most complete traditional folk life of the Tuwa ethnic group, but also provided tourists with rich tourism experiences and cultural exchange opportunities. Let's walk into Hemu, explore that mice.